So joining us is Jeff Briggs. Jeff is with Firaxis, and I love talking to you because number one, you're bald like me.
Exactly right.
And we're a member of the BLM club, Bald Like Me Club, and you do historical games that are excellence.
Well, thank you
personified.
very much.
I mean, obviously Sid Meier starting the whole franchise and moving straight through. Pirates is the latest.
Pirates is the game we're showing on the floor today.
And you've announced it for Q4 of this year, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. Anything firmer than Q4? I mean, that's October, November, December.
Well, it looks like it's going to hit the streets in November.
November, okay.
Yeah, we're hoping to wrap it all up at our shop in October.
Where are you right now with the game? When you left yesterday or whenever you left, what was going on?
Well, we are adding art assets.
Adding art assets.
That's right. And Sid is still cleaning up a few gameplay issues that he wanted to address.
Does he ever leave the Baltimore area, or does he just stay and make games?
No, he pretty much stays and makes games.
Yeah.
Makes games.
Yeah.
Occasionally he takes a weekend off.
Right.
That's about it. The man is.
Does he have the History Channel running 24 hours a day in his office?
No. Strangely enough, he's a history buff like me, which means quasi history buff.
Really?
Yeah. Fun is first, and history comes later. We make the fun, and then we do the research.
So you're not one of those people who goes, now, see, you don't understand how that really works in history.
I have been known to say that.
You have been known to say that.
And I've been known to get laughed out of the joint for saying that.
Do you pride yourself in making sure that your games are historically accurate?
Well, in some instances, yes. Like Pirates, for example, has a map of the Caribbean Sea. It's the entire Caribbean Sea. And so we'd like to make sure all the islands are in the right place.
Right.
And they have the right names. And the ports, have the right names and all that stuff. But in terms of, what real pirating was like, this is more
who knows? I mean, we've got some written accounts. Most of them are romanticized, right?
Well, most of the genuine pirate accounts are things that you wouldn't want to make a game about.
Right, exactly. It's a hard life.
There's some pretty gruesome and ghastly things out there that happen in the real pirating world.
Right.
Our game Pirates is more about what it's like to be a movie pirate.
We've spent an awful lot of time watching Pirates of the Caribbean, and also even when I think about this game, I think about Pirates of the Caribbean, but I also think about Survivor. Pearl Island.
Pearl Island.
You know? I mean, in the end, you're actually wending your way through a reality game.
That's true. That's right? What Pirates is like. Except for the reality is a lot more polished and fun than it probably was in the real Pirates world.
So, what kind of role do you play? You're a privateer?
Well, you can be a privateer if that's what you choose to be. You can play the various nationalities that were in the Caribbean at the time off against each other and work for one or work for the other.
What were the nationalities then? It was the English,
the French,
Spanish,
the Dutch, and the Spanish.
Yeah.
The Portuguese had a few guys in there, but we're not having the Portuguese in the game.
They kind of ended up in.
No offense to the Portuguese.
Well, that's because they ended up in Brazil, not in the Caribbean, right?
Right.
So, all right, now you can. Well, I guess what are the different games that you can play? There's treasure hunting, there's ships, there's duels.
Pirates is a melange.
A melange, M-E-L-A-N-G-E.
Yes,
melange
of gaming styles.
Yes.
And, that's one thing that we sort of pride ourselves on is we don't try to do any particular genre of game. At the time that the original Pirates was done, there were no genres. And when we did that game back then, we said, well, what would you need in order to be a pirate? Well, you'd have to have sword fighting, you'd have to have ship battles, you'd have to romance the governor's daughter. There'd have to be treasure maps, which, of course, you and I know that there were really no treasure maps in the Caribbean. Pirates didn't do that. But anyway,
it's kind of hard to map water.
That's right.
Yeah.
But you'd have to have lost treasure that you could find and dig up. You'd have to be able to have land battles where you would fight and try to take over ports. So the game has a fighting game in it. It has a ship-to-ship combat game in it. It has like a real-time strategy land battles game in it. It even has a dancing game where one thing that you have to do in order to woo the governor's daughter
yes.
is you have to really impress her.
Now, is the goal of this game as a privateer not to get a sexually transmitted disease? Because we've already had one of those today.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Leisure Suit Larry is back.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's good news or grim news.
I don't know.
It is news.
That is true.
Yes.
So you can woo the governor's daughter with your dance moves. But I imagine it's not like Dance Dance Revolution. It's actually knowing the minuet.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up.
Yes.
Because you can minuet, which comes with the game.
Yes.
And you can dance in 4/4 time as well. And you do that with a group of other dancers on the dance floor. And the governor's daughter is giving you subtle hints on which way you should move, and when you should do a twirl. And you have to do it just right, or she doesn't like you much at the end.
Yeah, because you're uncultured.
You're uncultured, right?
You're a privateer in need of a shower.
She is looking for a privateer that smells good.
Yeah.
Right. But in the game, you'll be able to download or to upload into the game any music file that you want. And you can tap in a beat file. So if you want your pirate to dance to Metallica, you can do that.
You can do that. Very cool. All right.
We're talking. Don't see that happening a whole lot, but it might happen.
We're talking with Jeffrey Briggs. He's president and CEO. Works very closely with Sid Meier's.
That's right.
And the game is called Pirates, and it's Pirates with an exclamation point.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like Gettysburg and Antietam had exclamation points.
That's right, because they were very loud.
Pirates!
Right. Let's go to the chat room and see what we've got cooking in there. Questions for Jeffrey Briggs.
So Scart wants to know, what made you decide you wanted to get into doing a Pirates-based video game? Is it something you've always wanted to do?
Well, I mean it's something that Sid and I actually did way back in 1987, and the game was a tremendous hit back then. And we literally have gotten thousands and thousands and thousands of requests to remake the game. It's a great game. It's a great combination of different styles of play. As I mentioned before, turn-based. I mean, real-time strategy, dancing, ship battles, strategy. It's just a great game, and we love the game, and we wanted to bring it back to the world and full 3D.
I'm trying to think what other games there were that are actually like, there are obviously lots of remade movies, but I don't know of any remade games.
Well, I mean, I suppose you could say
Leisure Suit Larry, and that's Frogger. I mean, there are updates. Obviously,
right,
they'll bring back a classic game and like that. But
well, I mean, that's really sort of what we've done. I mean, we do consider this game to be a classic game.
Right.
It's got this magic gameplay to it.
Sure.
But we've added other sequences to it. Like I mentioned, the dancing. There's also a stealth game now where you have to sneak in and out of town. In the old game, you could choose to sneak in and out of town, and basically it was a roll to die. You either did it or you didn't.
Right.
But in this game, you have to actually sneak through the town, evade the guards, bonk guards on the head, and so now we have, how many genres is that? 7?
I counted. I lost count. But you get involved in politics too. So there's actually
politics and there's also strategy and there's also role playing.
Yeah.
Because in order to be successful in this game, you have to develop your character.
Yes.
And your character has a lifespan. And so at a certain point, you'll probably want to retire because your character's reflexes will slow down. You'll actually age. You'll get gray hair. The governor's daughters, won't be as attracted to you anymore. You won't be able to sail as well.
So everything affects the game.
Everything affects the game.
Very cool. All right, Jeffrey, thanks very much for being with us. Jeffrey Briggs from Firaxis. It's due out October-ish, November-ish. It's called Sid Meier's Pirates, updated from the 1987 game of the same name. Thanks for being on.
Developed by Firaxis Games.
Developed by Firaxis Games.